Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Today we've got the Elite Series 120, Joe Gacy, and well, I'm damn sure excited for this one as well. We're definitely going to be on the hunt for the YS6 as they're slowly getting phased out. We've got Dexter, of course, we'll show him off towards like the end of the video with Gacy, and maybe my Ultimate Bray Wyatt or something like that. Sadly, I don't have the Ultimate Uncle Howdy just yet, but plan to invest in him as soon as I possibly can. Same thing with that YS6 3-pack, because I would love to have that updated Roan, though the torso choice may be a little weird, but I can get over it. Looking at all the other figures on the back of the box, we've got LA Knight and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. We do not have that Roman, the Collector's Edition Cena, nor will we probably be getting the Lola Vice, if I'm going to be honest, but all great figures in my opinion as far as the wave goes. Even if you don't like all the characters, you can at least respect how decent the figures look when they do come out. Either way, enough said, as we all know who we're here for. Why don't we get this Joe Gacy out of his plastic prison and we can get into this action figure review now, shall we? Alrighty, you guys. Now that we've got Joe Gacy out of his plastic prison, we can go over the figure and all of his accessories. I'm sorry, I kind of lost my breath there for a second, but let's try to just act like that never even happened. But as you can see, he's got a pretty nice amount of accessories for an Elite. I mean, of course, the Dexter Loomis did too, but he comes with two different sets of interchangeable hands, one already preset into the figure, and that is his mic holding / weapon holding hands, and then he comes with a set of fist hands, which a unique, I guess you could say, take on the fist hands, as he's got his thumb taped up but nothing else apparently, which is kind of strange to see, I guess, but to hoots his own horn, I guess. You also got all these nice cloth accessories, but the main thing I want to go over first and foremost is this nice creepy looking pig's mask that he wears. It's like a gas mask that's in the shape of a pig's mask. It's weird, and it's even got the skin tone color of the pig itself, like a pig skin color. So I don't know exactly how to feel about how the mask is at the end of the day, but I do love all the nice little detailing in it, like from the stitching to the gold rims on the like goggle pieces and the gold like mouth, like what is it, mouth filter piece. It's all looking really nice, I can't lie, and I haven't tested this out just yet, so let's take a quick gander of it on the figure himself. Of course, we'll have him masked up, all accessoried up as well at the end of the video more than likely. But the mask does fit pretty well on there, fits pretty nice and snug, so I don't think there's much to worry about there. But now we can get into these cloth accessories, and first things first, let's get into the top. He technically wrestles in, so I don't know why they didn't choose to sculpt this, but I guess it can be a nice little added detail if you ever really want him to. Mid-match, you could have someone like rip his shirt off and he can wrestle just bare-chested or whatever you want to call it, but this shirt nonetheless is really nice. It feels really good. It stretches well to get it over the figure. As you can tell, there is no Velcro here. And I'm not going to lie, I've been loving when Mattel does do these Velcro-less shirts. But I digress. We can get into the flannel jacket, which has the issue that like every cloth flannel jacket or any collared jacket, I feel, tends to have, or anything with a fucking collar from Mattel at this rate, and it's the fact that this shit will not stay folded down for the life of me here. Like, it don't look too bad on the figure because I think the hair kind of helps hold it down a little bit, but when I took this figure out of the plastic, the top of the collar was like that, and and the plastic, so I can only imagine this is going to be fun to kind of like work around with and shit, but it does feel nice. It looks really good, and honestly, I am kind of curious to see how this would look on my ringside exclusive from the Vault Cactus Jack. But we're not gonna worry about anything like that. I do have them chilling out over there because of Massacre on 34th Street, a joint show that me and Grand State Wrestling are in the process of working on. Realistically, he has one match left to film. I still have the whole show to film, but I also swamped myself with a bunch of joint shows and a bunch of small little projects Fed-wise, and all I can say is the Fed, I don't know how I want to put it. The Fed collaboration show era of Damn Defiant Wrestling is almost over, and we will be getting back to the original script shortly. Speaking of the original script, we gotta get into this Joe Gacy, so why don't we take a gander at Mr. Gacy here, his first time in the Lion figure, and honestly, I can tell you right now, just from looking at it and stuff like that, the hair and all the little intricate details on this figure are pretty damn phenomenal. Like, the beard looks nice, the hair looks good, the eye makeup looks pretty damn good, the smile is actually pretty nice for what they're going for here, because let's be honest, I normally would kind of shit on a head scan like this when we could have gotten like a blank face expression, or we could have gotten like a yelling expression maybe, but honestly this creepy smile, it works well. And let's be honest here, I could almost envision this maybe being a Schism Joe Gacy head scan at first, and then they retooled it and repurposed it to make it fit more for the Wyatt family era of Joe Gacy, Wyatt 6 era of Joe Gacy, I should say. But I only state it like that because, I don't know, the smile just gives me heavy Schism vibes, and if you know, you know, because Schism wasn't a very long-lived group, so can't worry about it too much there. But the torso choice, I think they went with a pretty damn good torso choice here. If I recall correctly, isn't this like the Hacksaw Jim Duggan torso? I only say it like that because I had the one Hacksaw Jim Duggan from the Legends series like years ago, and then that figure broke, so sadly I do not own that figure anymore. But let me know if I was right about that, and this is the Jim Duggan torso, because I wouldn't be shocked. It reminds me a lot of the Jim Duggan torso. But speaking of some nice details, I'm really loving his tattoo sleeve here, from the pink roses just layered throughout the sleeve here, because there's a lot of pink roses from what I'm noticing. You've got some other like little details here in blue and green, and just a bunch of cool looking shit here for a tattoo sleeve. I'm not gonna lie, if I was to make my own like custom figure and I needed to like put my tattoos on a figure, and well obviously I'm not gonna be able to because I have a lot of little intricate tattoos, I feel like I would end up wanting to use this Joe Gacy arm for my figure there. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to invest in a second Joe Gacy and I'll turn it into a custom of me, because I'm a pretty chunky guy, so I feel like this would actually work quite well for me. And I say it like that, I'm not a extremely chunky guy. I've got like a bit of a dad bod going, which this kind of gives me dad bod vibes. So yeah, enough said there, I guess. We've got these unique pants here, because I'm not sure if we've seen this pant sculpt before. I think we might have seen something similar on like a Mia Yim or Reckoning Elite, whatever the name was of her character when she was in Retribution. And even then, I don't think that's the leg mold I'm trying to think of here, but I don't know. Like, obviously, these lower halves would be a little bit more unique, maybe, but I don't know, the pants in general though, they look pretty clean. Got a little bit of splotches here and there on the lining, but when it's coming down to fine details like this, the fact that they kept 90% of it clean is already a godsend in itself. You've got a nice little leg tattoo down here. I almost said hand tattoo for whatever reason. Maybe it's because there's a fucking hand in it. But yeah, pretty nice tattoo details all the way around when it comes to this Gacy. I will say though, I feel like the feet either just don't like to sit on there properly or something, because it does not look right. Like it really does not tend to look right at all. But I don't know, that might be my one and like only gripe when it comes down to the look of the figure, is the boots itself are just a tad bit weird looking. But enough said there. Why don't we kind of break down the articulation, I guess. I don't know why I put this down when we could do a little bit of an articulation test point here. Everything seems to be moving pretty fine and dandy, you know. The double jointed arms work beautifully as they should. The shoulder joints pose the way they should, you know. You can get that arm range in there. I'm just not fully posing it just because I don't want to put a lot of wear and tear on this. Torso is really nice. I did just kind of notice that there's like a small little crack here on the side. Like the seam is a little open here on the one end, but that's whatever. There's also a little schmutz right there on his torso, so nice to know, I guess. But then his legs actually, surprisingly, do not need heat treatment because they do pose the way I'm assuming they're supposed to. Because I can't imagine he's got an incredible kick forward when it comes down to the legs here. But the double jointed knees are nice and smooth. Like, this isn't really giving me much of a problem at all to bend that knee. And that's what you want. If you're going to give us pinless knees, don't make them so fucking difficult to bend. I think that's all we want, Mattel. Well, that, and we don't want to have to fix our figures either, but that's another topic for another day. I've technically made a video showing how you could potentially fix your figures. I will say it's not always a guarantee the first time, every time, that it'll fix the issue, but I can say it like this, for how simple the fix is. It usually only takes me I say max maybe 3 tries, depending on the figure and all that kind of stuff. But enough said. Why don't we get this Joe Gacy all dressed up and we can kind of get into some action figure comparison / the final pose and ranking of this figure now, shall we? Well, alrighty, you guys. Now that we've got the Joe Gacy all posed up in his final pose in a sense, and we've got some other figures to kind of compare alongside with him, including the Ultimate Edition Fiend and, well, the most recent, what was it, like Mountain Dew Pitch Black, Bray Wyatt, and we've got the Dexter Loomis that's also from the Wyatt 6, like, set, I guess you could say, because we all know it's just a set that's individually getting released into different waves and stuff like that, as they all go together. It just makes sense. But either way, this Joe Gacy is looking pretty mean. And I will say, like I was saying earlier, the hair and stuff like that definitely helps hold the collar down. Though you can kind of see it still pokes up a little bit. It definitely does hold a little bit better with the hair and stuff there. But at the end of the day, this Joe Gacy is a pretty badass figure, I won't lie. I am enjoying this so far. From all the little details, the cloth accessories, the mask, this figure is just absolutely phenomenal, I would say, at least when it comes down to the looks. Posing and capability, as far as that goes, probably could have been a little bit better, but honestly, at the end of the day, when it comes down to the standard Mattel figures, you can't expect every single one of them to be able to throw a big boot, but you should be able to expect most of them to be able to throw some sort of super kick. So at that note, this Joe Gacy's posing capabilities are really not that bad, but they could have been a little bit better in my opinion. And at that rate, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would I rank this figure? Honestly, I'm going to give him a good solid 8.5. And the main reason why I say 8.5 is mainly because of the boots and the way they look. The boots are just kind of a little bit off-putting, at least on mine. Maybe they look a little bit better on other Joe Gacy's, but on mine, I don't know what it is. Just looking at the feet, it looks like it has a tongue on the bottom part, the ankle area, and then it has the tongue of the boot itself where the boot rotation is. So it's, I don't know, it's just weird. But that's really my only big issue with this figure, besides maybe the leg posability. But the leg posability isn't bad to deduct a whole point in my opinion, hence the 8.5. But with that being said, we do still gotta get into the good old Dave Meltzer star scaling, the good old 1 to Young Buck match, and when it comes down to it, we gave him an 8 out of 10. So, I think a good solid 4 will suffice just fine for this figure as well. Like I said, aesthetically looking wise, it is very pleasing to the eye. But posing wise, it may give you a little bit of the hindrance in the legs. Other than that though, it is a really, really solid release. And with that being said, I don't really have all that much left to say. So if you guys would like to, feel free to like the video if you guys liked the video. But if you guys did not, well, womp womp, I guess. But if you guys did like the video, maybe feel free to go check out some of my other action figure content, as we just recently released Bryan Danielson versus Cody Rhodes, my show with JCW, Highway to Hell, technically my first collab show that I did myself, as I asked him to be a part of it. I knew he would want to, that's why I asked him, and well, yeah, it all worked out pretty damn well in my opinion. Almost 100 views on that too, so thank you guys. But of course, we've got plenty of other action figure content, including reviews, more pick-fed stuff, just a lot of different things, and I highly recommend you guys go check out From the Ashes if you haven't seen From the Ashes yet. It was supposed to be a joint show, but stuff happened. No hard feelings there. I just put the show out on my own. Didn't make a big deal out of it type shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to do so, but just scrolling through here, we've got endless content. We've got content for days, content for hours. So, what are you doing? Go check out some of my other figure content if you guys would like to. But whether you do or don't, there is one thing I could at least ask, and that, I would be very appreciative if you do. I'm not gonna play you guys the little violin. I'm not gonna play In the Arms of the Angels and beg you for money and donations. But what I am gonna ask you and beg you for is if you guys could just subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe, so don't be afraid to hit the Sister Abigail on that sub button and help get us to 500 subscribers. After all, we are already almost halfway there. 442 as of recording, and hopefully it only just continues to rise from there, and we can become a fairly big channel here on YouTube if I continue to do it for the next 10 years. Who knows? But what I do know is we are pretty much at the end of the video. So have a good rest of your day, night, evening, if whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I'm not in your time zone. But thank you guys for watching. And well, yeah. Deuces. Ooses. Yay.